A very good morning to all my dear students and welcome to Online Ventures by Exampur SSC and Railway English Medium YT चैनल। सभी बच्चों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आज के इस इम्पोर्टेंट मॉर्निंग सेशन में करंट अफेयर्स में। आई रिक्वेस्ट यू ऑल टू प्लीज क्विकली कनेक्ट विथ मी सो दैट आई कैन स्टार्ट द प्रोसीडिंग्स फॉर टुडे। सभी लोग क्विकली एक बार सेशन को ज्वाइन करें सो दैट आई कैन स्टार्ट द क्लास फॉर टुडे, आई कैन स्टार्ट द प्रोसीडिंग्स फॉर टुडे। I request you all to please quickly connect with me so that I can start the session, I can start the proceedings. All of you, please do join the session as quickly as possible. Very good morning, Deepika. Welcome to the class, welcome to the session. I hope you must be doing fine and must be doing great. All of you. Please do join the session as quickly as possible. So how are you all and how is the preparation going on? Please do tell me. All well? All good? Any doubt, any problem, anything you want to ask? Please do tell me. If not, then I will start the proceedings for today. Okay. If you want to ask anything, if you want to have if you have any query with me to resolve, you can simply ask it to me. Okay. First of all, you might have heard about the OECD. This is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Now, India has joined the OECD G20 inclusive framework for the tax deal. In order to have the transparency in the tax and in order to increase the revenue, the India is basically joining the OECD and G20 frameworks that how to enhance and increase the collection of taxes. Remember one thing, majority of the members of Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development as well as G20 inclusive framework on the base erosion and profit shifting, including India, has been adopted. This proposed solution consists of two components. Pillar 1, which is about reallocation of additional share of profit to the market jurisdictions, and Pillar 2, consisting of minimum tax and subject to tax rules. We know that in most of the problems, especially in the middle income group countries, the major problem is that most of the entrepreneurs, most of the industrialists and most of the businessmen go for the invasion of taxes. वो टैक्स चोरी कर लेते हैं. Now ये जो इंडिया ज्वाइन कर रही है OECD और G20 के इस फ्रेमवर्क कन्वेंशन को, it's basically framework on the base erosion and profit shifting. How to overcome the tax evasion and how to shift this particular profit to the government. The principles underlying the solution vindicates India's stand for a greater share of profits for the markets, consideration of demand side factors in profit allocation, the need to seriously address the issue of cross-border profit, shifting a need for subject to tax rules to stop treaty shopping. You see, these basically guidelines, these basically frameworks are basically being adopted or basically being discussed. ये जो सारा फ्रेमवर्क डिस्कस किया जा रहा है या पिलर 1 पिलर 2 की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, इसमें दो मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं. द मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव इज दैट कि हाउ टू इंक्रीज द कंट्रीज प्रॉफिट फ्रॉम द मार्केट, दैट मीन्स फ्रॉम द बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज, फ्रॉम द इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज, वहां से हम कैसे अपने प्रॉफिट शेयर को इंक्रीज करें. सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट how to enhance and increase the profit of all those business persons who are involved in trading not only in India but also from the outside the country. India will continue to be constructively engaged for reaching a consensus-based ready-to-implement solution with Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 as packaged by October and contribute positively for the advancement of the international tax agenda. It is believed that with this particular convention, with this particular inclusive framework, along with the OECD and G20, India is going to develop a consensus. भारत कह रहा है कि OECD और G20 के inclusive framework के साथ, ठीक है ना, इसको implement करने की वो कोशिश करेगा by the month of October. उसके लिए उसने कहा है कि they need to have the consensus from the businessman or from the industrialist or from the business activities within the India. अगर हम ऐसा कर पाते हैं तो इससे दो तरह का फायदा है. द players operating in the market under the domestic trade and the international trade both will get benefited, and the share of tax of the government of India will also increase. And what this exactly convention is all about, ये convention होगा क्या, इस पे भी विचार होना बाकी है, इसको आपको ध्यान रखना है. चलिए, now we have a second important news from the LIC. Government has extended the superannuation age, that is the retirement age of the LIC chairman to up to 62 years. When we talk about superannuation, it simply means the end of the tenure. So government has extended the end of the tenure age of the LIC chairman up to which year you will say 62 years. This is very, very important for you all. So superannuation, simply here we can say retirement age. Retirement age. It was previously 60 years. Now it has been extended up to how many? 62 years. The government has extended the superannuation age of IPO bound LIC chairman to up to 62 years by making amendments to the LIC of India Staff Regulations Act 1960. तो ये जो superannuation age है और the retirement age of the LIC chairman has been extended from the 60 to the 62 years by making the amendment to the Life Insurance Corporation of India Staff Regulations 1960 bill, or the we can say act, not bill, it's the act. This changes, the changes made in the rules will be called the LIC of India Staff Amendment Rule 2021. According to a government notification that is being notified on June 30th, 2021. It is to be noted that the retirement age for the top executives of the majority of PSUs is 60 years, barring a few exceptions, including the State Bank of India. You see, do you know what are PSUs? Public sector undertakings are those enterprises or those organizations in which Government of India is holding more than 50% of the stake. As we have NTPC, NHPC, ONGC, SAIL, GAIL, BAIL, these all comes under the PSUs, including the, you can say, banking organizations as well as the, which you can say, insurance companies like Oriental Insurance and LIC. So most of the PSUs, the retirement age of the chairman of the most of the PSUs, the majority of the PSUs is around 60 years, except SBI, and now it's the LIC. The retiring age for the chairman of the SBI is 62 years, and the same has been done for the LIC by making the amendment to the LIC of India Staff Regulations Act 1960. LIC of India Staff Regulations Act 1960 में amendment करते हुए जो LIC के chairman का retirement age है, इसको extend किया गया है from 60 to the 62 years. Am I clear to you all? The last month, the government approved a 9-month extension to the LIC chairman M.R. Kumar till March next year in view of the insurance proposed IPO towards the end of the current fiscal. So remember one thing, as already proposed in the budget of 2021-22, that the IPO, that is initial public offering, offers of the, or the IPO of LIC will be released soon in order to raise the funds from the market. ये पहले ही प्रपोज किया जा चुका है बजट में कि LIC अपनी IPO लेकर के मार्केट में आएगी, so that they can garner the money from the market. And remember one thing, the current chairman of the LIC is M.R. Kumar. Don't forget this name, M.R. Kumar. This is important for you. M.R. Kumar is the current chairman of the Life Insurance Corporation of India. Am I clear to you all? Any doubt, any problem, you can simply ask it to me. All of you, please go ahead. If you have any issue, any problem, we can have the discussion. Can anyone tell me about this? And remember one thing, LIC, this LIC was established in the year 1956. Establishment is 1956, 1st September 1956. M.R. Kumar is the chairman. And if the question comes, where is the headquarter? The headquarter is Mumbai, India. The headquarter is Mumbai. Am I clear to all of you? All done, all clear? Okay. Invest India wins the most innovative investment promotion agency 2021 awards. We know, you all know that the government of India along with the Prime Minister is promoting Make in India concept, is promoting Stand Up India concept, is promoting vocal for local proceedings. So this Invest India, National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency, this has won the most innovative investment promotion agency award. Invest India is the National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency of India, which was established in the year 2009 as a non-profit venture of Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal under Trade Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So this was established as a non-profit venture in the year 2009 under the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Remember one thing, it basically focuses on sector-specific investor, which helps in targeting and developing new partnership in order to enable sustainable investment across India. You see, I'm giving you a very basic example, especially in the education sector. If you come to the education sector, especially in the online education, if you can see, there are a lot of players that is emerging and they are performing well. इंडिया के एजुकेशन सेक्टर की अगर आप एग्जांपल लो तो आप देखोगे कि बहुत सारे फंडिंग्स हो रहे हैं. बायजूस में बहुत सारे फंडिंग्स हुए, एम्बाइब में बहुत सारी फंडिंग्स हुई, अनअकैडमी में बहुत सारी फंडिंग्स हुई, ठीक है ना. उसके बाद तो बहुत सारे फंडिंग्स हो रहे हैं और ये लोग बड़े बड़े, ये लोग छोटे छोटे जो ऑनलाइन इंस्टीट्यूट्स है उसको भी क्या कर रहे हैं, ये लोग एक्वायर कर रहे हैं. व्हाई दिस इज पॉसिबल? क्योंकि सेक्टर वाइज फंडिंग्स को क्या किया गया है, इनहेंस किया गया है, सपोर्ट किया गया है. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज कि व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ इन्वेस्ट इंडिया? दिस इन्वेस्ट इंडिया partners with the substantial investment promotion agencies and multilateral organizations. It works actively with several Indian states in a bid to build capacity and bring in global best practices across investment targeting, promotion, and facilitation areas. It focuses on sector-specific investment targeting and development of new partnership for a sustainable investment. It means it is quite clear that those investors who are interested to invest in a particular sector of their own choice. Suppose I want to invest in, for example, fast moving consumer goods. Someone wants to invest in leather industry. Some wants to invest in apparels. Someone starts to in food processing. Some wants to invest in education. So what they do is that this Invest India, what they do is that they basically weed out the investors in which sector they want to invest, and according to the choice of their investment, they basically go for the selection and they allow the investment to take place. This is very, very important because you see, as the number of investors will increase, as the amount of investment will increase, this is going to bring lot of investment in our economy, and this investment is going to create lot of employment opportunity, undoubtedly. Now, there is a good news for the Indian economy. India has reported current account surplus of 0.9% in the financial year 2021. Now, please remember one thing. When we talk about current account surplus, what does it mean? It simply means one thing, कि India's export is more than the import. Sorry. Always remember one thing. Current account surplus is a situation in economy which always takes place when the export is more than the import. Try to understand. So India has reported a current account surplus of 0.9% of GDP in the pandemic hit financial year 2021 compared to a shortfall of 0.9% in financial year 2022, and this data has been released by the, which one you can say, RBI. Am I clear to you? I am telling you a very important point, कि as compared to the financial year 2020, when RBI has scrutinized the, or has gone for the, you can say, survey of the current account, they have come up with the result कि in this fiscal year, the current account is in surplus of 0.9% of GDP, and the current account surplus is a measure of or it's an estimation of countries' trade where the value of the goods and services it exports has exceeded the value of the product it imports. It clearly means that where our export is more than our import. The current account surplus is an important factor which represents the strength of the country's external sector, or you can say international trade. So it basically reflects the status of international trade that you need to understand. International trade. So it gives you the pulse of international trade. The Reserve Bank of India said that the current account balance has turned into surplus territory due to a sharp contraction in the trade deficit of to US because of the sharp contraction in the trade deficit, which was previously $1.57 billion in 1920, which has come to $102.2 billion in this fiscal year. FDI, that is foreign direct investment, and foreign portfolio investors have increased in financial year 2021. It means individual investment from the foreign countries has increased in India. Net foreign portfolio investment increased by 7.3 billion US dollars, mainly on account of net purchases in the equity market, as against the decline of 13.7 billion in quarter 4. This is not important for you. The only thing that you need to understand from this news is that India's current account surplus stands at 0.9% of the GDP, and this has been only possible because the trade deficit of India as compared to the financial year 1920 has declined from $157.5 billion to $102.2 billion. Now let's discuss about the Olympic fever. We know that the Olympics this year is going to be held in Tokyo. This is the girl on the screen is an Indian swimmer whose name is Mana Patel. Mana Patel has become the first Indian female swimmer to qualify for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. So if the question comes to your examination key, who has become the first Indian female swimmer to qualify for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics, it will be Mana Patel. She has qualified for the prestigious event through Universality Quota confirmed Sports Authority of India. Mana Patel will be the third Indian swimmer to take part in the Tokyo Olympics 2020 after Sajan Prakash, who was the first Indian swimmer to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics, and Sri Hari Natraj. So it is Sajan Prakash, Sri Hari Natraj, and Mana Patel. So these three swimmers have qualified for the Tokyo Olympics 2020, both of whom have earned the automatic qualification for the Olympics. Mana Patel was nominated by the Swimming Federation of India in June 21 as one of their nominations for the universality places for the Tokyo Olympics Games 2020. Sri Hari Natraj was nominated under the quota for the men's event. The nominations were then released by the FINA, the IOC recognized international federation, on June 20 through the Indian Olympic Association. Remember simply this particular thing. So remember one thing, we have three swimmers from India who will be representing in the Tokyo Olympics. And who are they? Mana Patel, the only female swimmer, and the rest of the two are the men swimmers. They are Sajan Prakash, or we can say next one is Sri Hari Natraj. So Sri Hari Natraj, Sajan Prakash, and Mana Patel are the three swimmers from India who are going to represent in the Tokyo Olympics 2020. Tokyo Olympics 2020. Am I clear to you all? All clear, all done. Any doubt, any query we can discuss. Please do tell me, all of you. Can I have the reply from you all? Okay, let's come to the next one. US military have left the Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. We know from 2005 itself, when Afghanistan was bombed by the US military officer, the US had their military base in the Afghanistan. and there were a lot of pressure from the United Nations organizations on America, on the US, just to leave these military bases from Afghanistan. So in that particular move, you can simply understand one thing: the US military has left the Bagram Air Base in the which one you can say Afghanistan. The last US and NATO forces have left the Afghanistan Bagram Air Base, the center of the war against militants, for some 20 years. The pullout could signal that the complete withdrawal of the foreign forces from Afghanistan is important. Bagram is a vital in symbolic and strategic ways. Taliban fighters advancing in districts across the country have this prize in their sights. Even last October, residents of the town, which has swelled all around, it told us the Taliban were already in their midst. But remember one thing, this Bagram, where there was a US and NATO military base, they have emptied it, they have left it, but still the Talibanese forces exist there. Why is Bagram so important? The airfield lies around 40 kilometers north of Kabul and is named after a nearby village. This is named after the Bagram village. Bagram. 4th of July, yesterday, it was the Independence Day for the America. You must have in 1776, America was declared independent. Independence Day, also called 4th of July or July 4th in the US, the annual celebration of nationhood. It commemorates or celebrates the passage of the Declaration of Independence by the Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776. And remember one thing, it was Philadelphia, where the Declaration of Independence was signed. And this Philadelphia is called as the Quaker City. We call this city as the Quaker City. The Continental Congress declared that the 13 American colonies were no longer the subject and subordinate to the monarch of Britain, King George III, and were now united, free and independent state. So why this 4th of July 1776 is celebrated as the Independence Day? Because on this day in 1776, on 4th of July, when King George III was the monarch of Britain, under his monarchship, it was declared that the 13 American colonies which was under the control of the British were declared free. This day is commonly associated with fireworks, parades, barbecues, carnivals, fairs, picnics, concerts, baseball games, family reunions, political speeches, and ceremonies. And along with that, the various other public and private events are celebrated in order to cherish this history, government and traditions for the United States. Simply remember that. Now, let's come to the first question for today. Till what age retirement age of the chairman of LIC has been increased by the government? Now, the retirement of the chairman of LIC has been increased to which age? Is it 61, 62, 64 or 65? Till what age retirement age of the chairman of LIC has been increased by the government? This is the question for you. Please go for the reply. All of you. Obviously, this is the 62 years. This is 62 years. What is the India's current account surplus in financial year 2021 according to the data released by the RBI? What is the India's current account surplus in financial year 2021 according to the data released by the RBI? Is it 0.5% of the GDP, 0.9% of the GDP, 1.73% of the GDP, or 1.89% of the GDP? This is the question being asked to you. And whenever we are talking about the current account surplus, it simply means one thing: the total value of goods and services that we exported is much more than the total value of goods and services we have imported. This is 0.9%. Who has become the first Indian female swimmer to qualify for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics? First Indian female swimmer to qualify for the upcoming Tokyo Olympic. Is it Mana Patel? Is it Sajan Prakash? Is it Shivani Kataria? Or is it Shikha Tandon? First Indian female swimmer to qualify for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics is which one? This is the Mana Patel. A is the correct answer. The last US and NATO forces have left the Bagram Air Base. In which country Bagram is located? This is 40 kilometer north of Kabul. And we all know that US forces attacked Afghanistan in 2005 and on the grounds of weapon of mass destruction. On the grounds of weapon of mass destruction. So this is in Afghanistan. On which day does United States celebrates its independence? The US Independence Day is celebrated on which day? Remember one thing, it was King George III who was the British monarch, and there were 13 American colonies which were declared free from the British control. And this was 4th of July and the year was 1776. 4th of July and year was 1776. Is that clear to everyone? Now an important announcement for you all. The important announcement is that from today onwards, we are starting a 30 days free crash course on YouTube. And under this, those people who are willing to attempt or are pursuing for the SSC and CHSL examination, I request them all to please attend all the YouTube sessions on the online benches SSC and railway channel, which we are bringing for you, just in order to give an edge to your preparation. So what is needed is that you all need to come to this practice session from today onwards. And today I will be starting this practice session at 2 p.m. in the MCQ form. That will be completely in the multiple choice question format, MCQ format. So I request you all to please attend that session from today onwards. So guys, thank you so much. See you in the next class at 2 p.m. And those who want to attend the defense new current affair events, please watch me live at 8 a.m. today morning, just after half an hour. So thank you so much guys. Bye-bye. Take care. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.